Hey everyone, today I am going to be doing my August 2020 book haul, and it is a big one. I've got to be honest, sort of getting really into reading this month sort of inspired me to buy quite a few series that I intend to read in the future, or near future at least. So yeah, hopefully it's not too intimidating, but hopefully I can tackle some of these like in the coming TBR months. So yeah, let's hope I can like get a bit of a dent into this anyway. And also I've tried to make sure that I've got like a mix between sort of fantasy and sci-fi, because I do want to explore a little bit of sci-fi as well as some of the classics in both sci-fi and fantasy. So yeah, I kind of look forward to getting into some of those as well. But yeah, anyway, let's dive into them and see what they are. First up is a used version of The Once and Future King by T.H. White. Yeah, I really like this version actually. I think this actually ended up coming from America. I think I just preferred the cover, the American cover. And that'll be a bit of a theme in this book haul. There seem to be a lot more American covers that I prefer than the British covers, so I'm a little bit vain when it comes to things like that, but you know, whatever you enjoy, right? So if you can make the experience a little bit better for yourself, why not? But yeah, I picked this up mostly because like I quite like mythology and things like that within different cultures and things like that. So like Greek mythology, Norse mythology, anything like that. But at the same time, I even though I know King Arthur's story, like I've not really read around it very much, and like as an English person, it feels kind of like I have to and I should. And sort of the T.H. White version is by no means the earliest form of this story. I mean, it goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. So, but I think that this is, and I'm sure someone will correct me in the comments, but I think this is what inspired the Disney film. So yeah, really interested in getting into this. I think it's actually like 4 books rolled into one. So you've got, if I can find it, yeah. So you've got Sword in the Stone, Queen of Air and Darkness, The Ill-Made Knight, and The Candle in the Wind. So yeah, it's not a huge book, especially when you consider like the different stories within it. But yeah, I can take one story at a time and sort of go through this at a decent pace. So yeah, that's the first book. The second book on my list is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I'm sure there's quite a few people that watch this and sort of jump with joy that I've finally... Well, I do own Brandon Sanderson books, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but the reason I picked this one up is because I kind of feel like this is like the entry-level Brandon Sanderson, right? That's sort of what you hear everywhere. That, you know, if you want to get into Sanderson, read Mistborn. And yet again, the reason I got this version, because the UK version I think is quite basic. So an example of that is I do own, and this is what I was talking about before, I do own the Way of Kings, but this is the UK version, and honestly, like, that artwork versus that kind of style of artwork for me is a no-brainer. I choose this every time. This is a little bit too minimalist for me. I think it works for some cases, but like when you see that version of the cover in places and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to pick up this version, it's a little bit depressing to have to pick that one up. So the next book on my list that I picked up was The Way of Kings. So yeah, direct comparison there. I feel a bit stupid sort of having gotten it twice, essentially. But at the same time, I just look at that artwork. That's incredible. Love it. But like another thing as well is in the UK it came out in 2 parts as well. So actually, The Way of Kings looks a hell of a lot more daunting. So that's The Way of Kings in the UK, and that's it, the US. So yeah, I'd much rather have 1 book on my shelf than 2. So I might either donate or do a giveaway for these at some point. But yeah, so that's the next book. I actually haven't counted how many books I've got, so be interesting to tally them up at the end here. But there's quite a few, there's still more to go, so I look forward to that. The next one, and I'm kind of doing these by order of size, by the way, because I've got them stacked up at the moment, which is going to be interesting because I'm kind of making like a reverse pyramid right now, which is not going to end well. But the next book that I picked up is Nier Automata, and this is sort of the second book. I think it's called Short Story Long. Yeah, the first book is called Long Story Short, and yeah, then you've got the Short Story Long. And I think this kind of works in the same way as the games, where you sort of get one perspective from one story and then another perspective from the other book. So, and they look kind of cool together, right? I think that looks pretty cool. So yeah, I really look for. Actually, no, I think that's meant to. It's meant to look like that so that the face aligns up. If that focuses. Cool. Yeah. So, looking forward to getting into these at some point. It's sort of obviously based on the game, science fiction. Yeah, not much else to say about that one. It sounds really good, so yeah. The next book on my list is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. And yeah, it's the first of my classics. And actually it's quite a thin one. It's quite a thin one if we compare it to like... if we compare it to Way of Kings, then this is just going to put it to shame, sort of thing. Yeah, there you go. Compare everything to Way of Kings and, you know, you'll feel better about what you're reading as a slow reader. But yeah, like sort of, you know, the inspiration for Blade Runner. What can you say, really? I love the film, and the old and the new film, by the way. Both great films. And yeah, I just sort of want to read the inspiration for it. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this one. This one might make it into September's TBR. So look forward to a review of that within the next few weeks, I hope. I'm going to do the next 2 at the same time because they're kind of in the same series. But the next 2 are the first 2 books in the Foundation series. So we've got Foundation and Empire. I think that's the order that it goes in. I've read Foundation already and really enjoyed that. It's a different kind of story that I've not read a story like it. It sort of takes place over hundreds or thousands of years, and yeah, that's kind of a bit of a problem to an author, right? Because you know, you're trying to introduce protagonists and all that, but you can't. But it is a different kind of story, so I think it kind of gets away with it. But I'm very interested to read the second one, Foundation and Empire. The next book on my list is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie, and yeah, this is actually on my August TBR, and honestly, I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it, just because I am a little bit behind right now. And the next thing that I'm going to read is Prince of Thorns. So I don't think I'm going to get both of these done within a week. So this one might roll over to next month. It may even get pushed back a month past that. I'm not entirely sure just yet. But this one I do really want to read. So I think what I might do is make a video for my next month's TBR and do like a sort of tier list of books that I'm most excited about, and sort of see if this makes the cut, really. I think it will, because it's quite high on my priority list, in my head at least anyway. But it'd be interesting to see sort of when I rank books against each other, sort of what sort of rises to the top. So yeah, hopefully we'll see that one soon as well. And the next two books on my list, again sort of part of a series, are the Kyoshi books, based on the world of Avatar The Last Airbender, which is also my favourite cartoon if you watched my last video. But yeah, Kyoshi's kind of one of the characters within Avatar that never really got a huge amount of airtime, so it'd be really good to sort of delve more into her past and things like that. All I know about these is that it's about when Kyoshi was sort of made the Avatar, and sort of what I gather from it is that the Avatar has already been decided, or like they think that the Avatar is someone else, and then Kyoshi comes along and sort of throws a spanner in the works, and we know as Avatar fans that Kyoshi ends up being the Avatar, so it'd be interesting to sort of see how that sort of plays out. So yeah, really looking forward to getting into these at some point in the future. But yeah, these are some really nice hardbacks actually, especially when you take the dust jacket off as well. Sometimes I think a dust jacket actually does a book no favours really, and I think this might be one of them. I don't know, I do like the dust jacket, but the without the dust jacket it looks like that. I think that's pretty cool. Let me know what you think. The next book on my list is the Books of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin, and this is a big old book. It's a big old book. I'll give Way of Kings a run for its money. In fact, actually, I think it is thicker than Way of Kings. There you go, just about. That's impressive. But it does collect a few of the stories from Earthsea, so a lot of them are actually quite short stories individually, but they just sort of add up to make this big old book, which is pretty cool. It's got some illustrations in it, not too many. I'll see if I can. So that's sort of on the inside. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, Earthsea I think is going to make it onto my TBR for next month. Wizard of Earthsea at the very least, not this whole thing, because I still need to read other things. But yeah, kind of really looking forward to getting into some classic fantasy as well, so looking forward to that one next month. And the last but not least on my list for this book haul, actually this is the last physical book. I'll tell you about one other that I've got on its way that just hasn't arrived yet, but I'll get to that in a sec. This is The Girl and the Stars by Mark Lawrence, and again, in keeping with the theme of this video, this is the US cover. The UK cover, I'll put up an image there, and that'll basically be, I think it's just a girl with a black background with stars in the background. I just think there's something a lot nicer about that, you know. You kind of get the idea that it's sort of like a Frozen setting and things like that. I love the character design there as well, the artwork. Just look at that, beautiful. But yeah, I've heard very good things about this. I know that Slowly Read reviewed it. Sounds really interesting. I do want to read the Red Sister, Grey Sister books. That series of books. I can't remember the name of the series off by heart, but that series of books I want to read sort of before I get to this. And I think what I'm going to do with this one, as it's sort of like a wintry setting, is I'm going to wait until sort of like November, December time before reading it, and maybe have it as like a sort of December Christmas read sort of thing. So yeah, that's the last of the books that have arrived. I've got one more book on its way, and I really shouldn't order any more this month because that's a lot of books, and I'll count them in a sec. But the last one that I've got that's on its way is the Gunslinger by Stephen King. First in the Dark Tower series of books. I don't know why, but I think I watched Mike's book reviews, and he sort of talked about the Gunslinger and the Dark Tower series, and it kind of got me hyped for it, to be honest. So I'm really looking forward to picking up the Gunslinger at some point in the future. So yeah, I think that's 15 books in all, so that's a pretty sizable book haul for me. Again, like I say, I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to get round to reading all of them, but I hope to make a bit of a dent into some of these books, in particular Earthsea and Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep at the start of next month. But yeah, if there's anything that you want to talk about in terms of these books that I've got from this book haul, then let me know in the comments. Let's talk about them. Obviously try and keep spoilers to a minimum. And yeah, as always, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.